Institute, and we thank Joey Small for making this all happen. We get very excited about this work, and we get very excited when we see anybody doing this work, because the power of changing the classrooms and changing the schools is right in this room. That's how it happens. It doesn't happen from policy and from big decisions. It happens one teacher at a time. And it happens because you are dedicated to this work. So you take us anywhere, you push a button, and we're so delighted to talk to mentors and proteges and to really make change in the schools. So we are going to be taking a look together with you today on creating a vision of quality teaching. And we listened in on the introductions that you gave, and so we'd like to introduce ourselves to begin with. We work for the Jewish New Teacher Project, which also works with mentors and new teachers in the tri-state area as well as across the country as we're moving forward. And we really are very specifically, we work with the mentors and we have different models of mentors and we help them change and affect change in their schools as well. We have been in existence for about 8 years, and Shelley will mention our parent company, the New Teacher Center, very briefly. My name is Faggy Safran, and I've been in education, I'm afraid to say it, since 1968, and I started in Talmud Torah. Remember those? And that's where I cut my teeth. And I, too, had no support, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I can't believe the amount of autonomy they actually gave to me without my knowing a thing. I was working my way through college. And later on, I taught second grade through high school, adult education, college campus. I was an adjunct at Stern. I did the 10 Dot Journal. I gave birth to it here on campus. I was the assistant principal at Montgomery High School for a few years. And when this became available, I just jumped at it because I really felt that all the teaching that I'm doing, I'm going to really begin to affect change in the new teachers and in the schools that I've been working in. So I'm really delighted to be here working with you. And Shelley, would you introduce yourself?
Hi, welcome. And again, I want to thank Joey Small for inviting us here. My name is Shelley Sarian, and I'm actually from public education. I work for the New York City Department of Education. It used to be the department, now it's the board. It used to be the board, now it's the department. It's ever-changing. And for that many years, let's not go into that one. But I had the privilege of being in a position where in New York City we had a retention problem of keeping teachers, and every year we were hiring 6,000 new teachers, and we needed a grant, we needed a program. So what happened was I went looking, and I stopped when I found the New Teacher Center. And I'll tell you a little bit about the New Teacher Center. They're out in Santa Cruz, California. They're a national program, and we are part of the parenthood of the New Teacher Center. I worked in the New Teacher Center, and then about 4 years ago, when the Jewish New Teacher Project started to expand, I left the Department of Education in New York City, and I went to work for the New Teacher Center, and more specifically with the Jewish New Teacher Project. Now, how I got involved from public education to working with Jewish day schools was somebody named Michael Berger, who is what's his title? Project Officer for the Avichai Foundation. He was looking for a mentoring model to bring into Jewish day schools, and when he heard about the work that we were doing in New York City, he came to meet with me and a couple of my associates, and he then went out to California to meet with the group in Santa Cruz, and he said, this is where Avichai is putting their money into this particular program of mentoring. It's a great model. I'm happy to say that the New Teacher Center began in 1988 as a New Teacher Project out of the University of California, Santa Cruz. 10 years later, in 1998, they got a grant to open up their own office outside of the university, but still affiliated with the university. Last year, we became a nonprofit. We are no longer affiliated with the university. We are in over 30 states. We are in mostly public education, charter schools, and in Jewish day schools throughout the country. And we are also in a couple of nations out there. Yes.
Are you also in other independent schools, like Catholic schools and so on?
No, not right now. We're not. No.
Only the Jewish schools?
The only parochial schools that we're in are Jewish day schools.
Wow.
Yes. That's That's good, right? That's
It's
an
such a
impressive
small
thing.
percentage of the independent school community.
I
We're the
understand.
chosen group of schools.
We're the chosen-
Right, exactly. Well, that's the word. That's the word to use. We are the chosen people, so we got the chosen schools. We got the grants. So we're now funded by Avichai generously, the UJA Federation of New York, Jim Joseph Foundation out in California, San Francisco area, and a private anonymous donor. So that's a little bit of history of where we are.
And we have about 50 mentors in about 50 different schools, Jewish schools, that we're working with across the board. But we want to move into the work that we're doing with you today, and we're happy to answer any questions that you might have afterwards. Just quickly, some of the outcomes for the next bit of time together. We're going to develop a vision of high-quality teaching to guide the work of the mentor. We're going to heighten your awareness of what standards look like in classroom practice. The agenda today is the welcome and the introductions, and Joey's on the agenda as well. A vision of high-quality teaching, standards in practice. What do those standards look like? Dr. Glanz, there's a perfect segue. Somebody asked, how do we know we're successful? One of the answers that he gave is you need to have standards and benchmarks of good instruction. Well, we're going to share some of those with you today. It's one model of many. We're going to be doing later on this afternoon, we're going to be doing a mentoring conversation using some mentoring language that we're going to share with you, and we're going to do a partner practice and reflection. So those are the two times that we're going to be spending together with you. Just very briefly, another question that was asked this morning was, establishing some kind of setting of expectations between mentor and protege. We call them norms, and we really feel that it's an important way of starting any conversation, whether it's the mentor and protege, that becomes a model for the protege in his or her classroom. Just a reminder that we have equity of voice and active listening together, really listening to each other without thinking of our next response, making sure everybody's voice is in the room. Safety to share different perspectives. We're all different. We come from different places, different contexts, different understandings, as do our proteges as well. The respect for those perspectives is really important. And confidentiality. We're going to be, during the course of the next few days, there's going to be a lot said in the room, and whatever is in Vegas stays in Belfer Hall. So just to keep that in mind, that's a really important piece as well. And as was mentioned earlier, in working with your protege, you might want to add coming on time, answering my emails and phone calls, bringing material with you, or anything else that you feel you might want to co-create that with a protege, which is a great way to get them on board as well. We also have a chart which we use, what's working, suggestions and questions. You have posted paper near you. If there's anything you want to jot down, we do use that feedback. Feedback is a really important part of our work. Your needs are what drives the work that we do, so please feel free to just pop up a post-it over there. We will be sure to look at it and respond in the second session. I just want to, before we go to our connector, I just want to say that there is so much expertise and experience in this room, and we really have a high regard for what you're bringing to the work. And for those of you that something might be familiar, we invite you for the ride and to participate and to share your own experiences and knowledge and understanding along with us. And we do just want to put out there that you're coming with a lot of experience and expertise on your own. And we appreciate that and want to tap into that energy. So we welcome you, and we always begin with some kind of connector to help us kind of wrap our minds around the work that we're going to do. And Shelley's going to take us there.
We also do something else. We're very transparent about our work, and usually the person before us will give us a little bit of a segue. And I have to thank Dr. Glantz for giving us a perfect segue into the work we're going to be doing for the next few minutes. Great, terrific, thank you. But we talked about the quality teacher. Okay, so who is that quality teacher? Who is that teacher that we want to develop? Who is the teacher we want to say we are proud that they are part of our school culture? Who is that teacher we're going to develop who we say, I want my children, my grandchildren, my nieces, my nephews, that's the class that I want them to be in. Those are the charges that you have. You're going to be taking your proteges and you're going to be making them into the highest quality teacher we possibly can. We talked about professionalism before. We want the teachers of the future to look at themselves as true professionals. We want them to do the work that is needed in the classroom, because as what was started this morning, the bottom line on why we're all here is student achievement. That's what we have to do. We have to take the child, no matter where they are, and we have to move them forward. We have to take our proteges from where they are, and they're all going to be on different levels. Whether they're all beginning teachers, whether they're all experienced, whether they've had some student teaching or not. We're going to take them from where they are now and bring them to greatest heights. So let's think about for a moment, when we talk about the highest quality teacher, not the protege you're getting tomorrow, but the teacher that we want for the future. What will that teacher be saying or doing when you walk into that classroom? What might you hear? What might you see? Now, what I would like to see, I would like to see that teacher sitting down with an individual child, looking over their work and saying, how does your assignment match up with the rubric we developed? I would like to see that teacher join a professional learning community in their building, work with their grade level teachers, and develop lesson plans together. Those are some of the things that I would like to see. But what we want to know now is, what do you want to see? Not the protege tomorrow that you're meeting, but the highest quality teacher. You have a few different sizes of Post-its around your table. We would like you to take the smallest. Great, thank you. Oh, I love this. We have to bring a third person with us just to do the clicker next time. I like that. Thank you, Peggy. Okay, so this is what your charge is right now. I would like you to take the smaller Post-its, and there's a reason why the smaller Post-its, you'll find out in 5 minutes. And we would like you to jot down one idea per Post-it, and you can do as many as you want. It's not a contest, but you can do as many as you want within the next 4 or 5 minutes, okay? Okay, so what might a quality teacher be doing or saying? Okay, so forget the table activity. We're just doing up to the prompt. So I'm going to set the timer for about 4 minutes, and we'll see what we can do. This is an individual activity. You'll have a chance to discuss this with your colleagues in a few minutes.